If you are feeling stuck on content ideas and you don't have a lot of space for video recording, here are 5 types of yoga videos that take minimal effort, minimal space, but provide a ton of value. Welcome to this video creation series I'm doing, a bunch of videos to help you gain the confidence, knowledge, and motivation to get on video as a yoga teacher. I'm Ashley, and that's what I love doing. I love helping yoga teachers to spread the word, to get the love and light into the world through video and through online platforms. So let's get started. So here are 5 video ideas that you can implement right now with very little planning, very little space, and maybe just the use of your phone. Okay, so the first one is Q&A videos. Answer common questions that your students have. Now, there's a couple ways to figure out these common questions, especially if you maybe haven't been asked them yet, is thinking about the questions that you had as a student, both before you attended class and after you attended class. What are the common topics that come up pre-class? I mean, for me, I remember when I taught at a studio, there was questions like, is it okay to eat before going to yoga practice? Or can I bring water? Or can I take pictures? I mean, that's one too. Or I had some kind of wild and crazy things happen in yoga classes I'm laughing at in my head. I had a student once who was trying to read and study their textbook while we were in yoga class. Anyway, whatever questions would come up pre, post, or during your yoga practice, your classes, those are great questions to ask. And Q&A videos don't need to be a bunch of questions. It could just be one question that needs a little bit more detailed answer. So go in depth on what kind of foods would be best before yoga practices and what yoga practices maybe you need less food. So I'm just using that as an example, can I eat before attending a yoga class? But common questions are so great for videos, and specifically with YouTube, because if you have commonly asked questions, instead of having to reply over and rewrite it or recreate a video, you have a video that answers that question. You can send it on. So if someone has a specific question about modifications or poses or what to expect, you've made the video before, you can just link it to them. And that's how a lot of my videos have done really well. And one of the biggest benefits to being on YouTube is that a lot of my videos can answer questions, common questions. My rule is typically if I get a question asked 2 or 3 times, I will make a video about it because it's likely that somebody else also has that question. In fact, hundreds of people probably also have that question, but there were only 2 or 3 that actually asked it. You can also find commonly asked questions in different Facebook groups, on different YouTube videos, in the comments. There's a lot of ways you can research common questions, but just to keep it simple for you, think about your own experience. What are some common questions? Answer some Q&As. 1, 2, 3. It might be a 10 Q&A thing. Common questions, let's answer them all. It's always kind of fun to actually answer questions that people actually ask. So easy. That's something you could do just like talking to the camera. The second type of video that involves really minimal effort and planning is short yoga tips. So you're going to share quick insights like posture fixes or breathing techniques or really simple things that maybe take 5 or so minutes. YouTube and video creation does not have to be hour-long classes. In fact, I want to discourage you from teaching these long vinyasa classes or long yin or restorative or whatever class style, and instead breaking that down a little bit more. So short yoga tips. I could be sitting here right now just talking about breath work and posture and how we can sit better, or a specific pose that might be just low to the ground, especially if you don't have a lot of space. What kind of modifications you can make to specific poses, or how to use a prop like a block. Oh, excuse me. Do you like my dog? A prop like a block to help in a specific pose. So short yoga tips, that's something you can make a bunch of, right? Correct. Okay. The third one that involves really little effort and is actually very interesting is more of a behind the scenes video. So show your own practice space. Show your props, show your class prep or what it takes for you to get ready for a class. I have this space right here in my guest room. It would be a guest room. It's my yoga room. I have a space, but for some of us, it might be your living room, or wherever. It can be outside. So show where you prepare your classes, where you get ready, what you use for props, and a little behind the scenes. And a lot of people, not just other yoga teachers, are going to be interested in this because it's fascinating to see the process of something. Have you ever watched those TV shows that are like showing how chocolate is made, or showing how a product of some kind is made in a factory? Like, it's so fascinating to see the behind the scenes. I see this physical product, but like, how was it put together? Or how did they make, this thing, this yoga mat? Like, I want to know. I think that's fascinating. So there are a lot of random people that can be fascinated in the behind the scenes of how you plan your day, how you plan your classes. But really, for this example, it's just showing your practice space. For a yoga teacher or someone who practices yoga, who wants to promote yoga, it's showing your own space and also maybe where you record. But if you're not an online yoga teacher, it's just showing your practice space. That's it. Showing where you like to practice. Maybe if you have permission, you can share what studio you like or what studio you go to. You don't have to film other students, but you can just show like the outside of the studio, what it takes for you to get there. Anyway, I could go on and on. There's a lot that you can do with behind the scenes. Super fascinating, super easy. And the fourth one, I have 5 of them for you. The fourth one is a guided meditation. This one's super simple. If you are a yoga teacher, a guided meditation, you're going to sit with your people 5, 10, 15 minutes and guide them through a meditation. Now, I cannot proclaim to be the best at guided meditations, but I have experience. I have enough. And the way that I teach, the more that I teach, I'm going to continue to improve. I've been doing a morning movement and meditation class for the past 4 years on Zoom. I still don't consider myself someone who is great at leading meditations, but I've been doing it for 4 years, almost daily, and I've gained a lot more insight and practice into doing it. Is it perfect? I don't know. There's a lot of people who share meditations online, but they're not you and they're not your style. So why not add yourself to the mix? Because there's going to be people that relate and connect with you too. So guided meditation, you can sit down and just talk. And it doesn't even have to be on video. You might just have a picture of the ocean or a B-roll footage video of something that loops, and it's just your voice and audio. Now, I do like to see your face, or I would rather see you guiding the meditation than a random picture. But hey, if you're like, I just want to do a 5-minute audio meditation, awesome. You can still put that onto YouTube. Now, there's a little editing involved with that, but if we're talking about no effort, it would just be getting on video like this and going through a meditation. And the great thing about that is you don't need super fancy equipment for that because you're sitting in one place. So your audio should be good. Your video is not a big deal. People usually are closing their eyes. So very easy. And you could do a bunch of 5-minute meditations in, a short span of time. All right. And the last video that requires really zero work and minimal effort, but adds a lot of value to the people that are watching, is sharing your own experience, sharing your story. Talk about your own yoga journey and teaching philosophy, where you did your training. What was your experience like? What were the mistakes that you had to overcome, or the objections that you went through? So there was a time once that I was a beginning yoga student, or a beginner yogi. I hadn't even taken yoga teacher training. And I remember the first time I wanted to go to a new studio. I was visiting my uncle in California in Encinitas, and I wanted to go to a studio. So I had it on my clock and I was driving there, and I had this feeling like I was so anxious. I think I willed this to myself, but I drove right by the turnoff and I missed it. And by the time I turned around to try to find it, it was like, I would have been right on time, but on time's kind of late, and I just felt too bad, especially being brand new. So I went home, and I just remember the anxiety of of going through that process of going to be a new student in a new studio that place that I was visiting. And so even sharing a story like that, something that's relatable, like, oh yeah, I have a story just like that too, makes you connect with others. There's a lot of experience. My first yoga experience, hated it, absolutely hated it. But that's a story for another time. And that's something that you could share with your audience, with the people watching you, is your first time doing yoga, your training experience, how you got into this, and just a little bit more about yourself. Okay? And it's great practice for you to get on video, to talk on camera. It's great practice. So go for it. So it is Q&A videos, short yoga tips, behind the scenes, guided meditations, and sharing your story. So now I would love to know, which one of these are you going to do, or which one of these are you going to film and create? Which one's your favorite? Which one do you feel like would be the most beneficial and easiest for you? Let me know in a comment which one you would prefer and which one you're going to do. And if you want to join me for more YouTube and video creation training, like live training series, I am doing that very soon, starting September 19th. So if you are watching this in real time, go ahead and sign up for my training, which will be all about the ins and outs of YouTube for yoga teachers, getting started, answering your questions, and really being there to support you on this journey. So can't wait to see you there, and go ahead and start making those videos. If you are already encouraged, do it, just like I'm doing. Minimal editing and all. Just getting out there and sharing what I can to help you gain the confidence and motivation to also get on video.